Hello and welcome to Blytheweigh Business News. Right now I'm joined by Bill Brodie-Good, who's the Technical Director of Alien Metals. Alien has, I think, the most wonderful ticker on the stock exchange of UFO, quite appropriate for an Alien Metals company. Bill, welcome back to the show. You've had a few interesting weeks of news announcements. You've recently announced the proposal, the process of acquiring the Elizabeth Hill Silver Project from Karratha. Give us a quick update on how that's going.
Yeah, hi, morning, Tim. Very good to see you again. It's been a while, but yeah, we recently, in the last 10 days, sort of updated the market on the acquisition of the Elizabeth Hill Silver Project in Pilbara in Western Australia. Slightly delayed due to obviously global issues, but we're on track now to complete the acquisition. We hope in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Everything seems to be running along as smooth as can be. And in the background, we obviously have been working on reviewing the data, and we're currently just finalizing. I've just actually, before we spoke, been working on a budget, finalizing a budget for some field work to put some of our ideas and thoughts into practice on the ground as soon as we can.
So, I mean, as I understand it, once the acquisition is completed, you want to get and do some trenching?
That's correct. We sort of an initial phase of work will be we've put together a series of trenches as a way of hopefully identifying and uncovering repeat mineralization, mainly the silver mineralization systems that we believe are still there, and many of my predecessors who worked there, also who I've spoken to, believe are still untapped and unfound to date. So it's a combination of essentially trenching and then doing some mapping and doing, getting some fresh boots on the ground, so to speak. It's been a long time since anyone's been there, and really to with a fresh set of eyes, have a sort of recon over some of the other targets, and see, just start building again up the knowledge and adding to the all the historic information. So yeah, it's exciting, and we're because we're able to function in Western Australia in terms of within the state. People can move around and do this sort of thing. We're obviously pushing that now to get that done in the next over the next few weeks, couple of months.
Well, in a moment, I want to talk about the assets you've got in Mexico. But before we leave Elizabeth Hill, it's clear this prospectivity that's exciting you and has persuaded you to invest in an asset a long way away from Mexico in Western Australia. It's just, what was it about Elizabeth Hill which really excited you?
I think the thing, okay, obviously it is a long way from Mexico, but it's still an exceptional mining jurisdiction. Obviously, Australia. Our chairman is based in Perth, in Australia. We have many links. Myself, I studied there and worked there for many years. So I think rather than sort of going a lot as far away as we could from Mexico, it was an opportunity, both in the commodity of silver. We felt at the time of doing the deal and the acquisition or processing the deal, we felt there was a lot of upside in the project and in silver. And I think recently we're seeing obviously the upside in silver with, I just checked, the price is currently over 26 up to $27 an ounce. You have to recall that when the mine at Elizabeth Hill, when they stopped mining Elizabeth Hill in 2000, it was $4 an ounce. So there's a lot of good factors. We believe it's a great project which needs a steady hand to move it forward and to make new discoveries, as well as potentially develop the incomplete mining of the existing ore body.
Well, you'll have to come back and tell us a bit more about that when you've got on the ground and got the boots on
Sure.
the ground. But let's now have a quick look at Mexico. You've recently announced the plan for some drilling at the Donovan 2 copper gold project in Mexico. Remind viewers about that and what's going on there, please.
Well, sure. I mean, the Mexican assets in the portfolio of Alien was sort of, they were the core assets that Alien sort of inherited at its birth, if you like to say. And Donovan 2, again, hadn't really been explored and its potential reviewed up to sort of Alien's inception. And therefore, we, over the last couple of years, we've done some surface mapping, some sampling from surface and sort of old water wells that exist across the property. Being a high altitude area of farming, they've obviously putting water wells down for for irrigation, but they've also helped us to get access to in situ material and rocks and information, which is where the main copper anomalies have come from, where we got an over 3.3% copper sample from a sample taken in a well. We've done some geophysics at surface, 2 programs essentially, 2 sets of ground geophysics, and we now are very confident that we have excellent drill targets for the proving up of the existence of or defining the potential of the VMS copper and gold associated mineralization that all indications are there. And so, yeah, very exciting. We've got the plan. We've got the budget. We're now just finalizing the paperwork essentially with the Mexican government to ensure that when we start, we're in obviously in line with legalities of working of drilling invasive exploration on the project site.
So great. Having told us about the silver, the gold, the copper, you've also got Hancock and Brookman, which are iron ore deposits.
Well, we do, and again, so we go back to Australia, back to the Pilbara, which is obviously the heartland, almost the home of iron ore, between the Pilbara and certain regions of Brazil, but a huge centre of iron ore exploration and production. We have 51% of these 2 projects from the end of last year. Again, we've recently completed a sort of like a desktop review and study that has generated some excellent targets that we need to work up on the ground, which we are also concurrently looking at doing in the coming couple of months. Again, the conditions on the ground are such that it's still a cooler period for physically being on the ground. And now we have what we feel are solid targets to follow up, add information, add geological information, take some more samples, bring up the value curve, and start developing the potential of both of these projects. And they both do contain, we feel, significant potential for significant high-grade direct shipping ore, which is sort of the creme de la creme in the way in the iron ore market anyway. So yeah, we're busy, as you can see.
Well, okay, so we've got Mexico, Australia, gold, copper, silver, iron ore.
Yep.
What should investors be looking out for next in terms of news flow from
I think news flow is, as I was saying, we're trying as hard as we can to keep the workflow moving forward now. So at the moment, the COVID-19 pandemic is obviously, from everyone's point of view, we have to be aware of that and manage that, make sure that everyone we engage and work with are as safe as possible and controlled. So I'm hoping the news will be that drill holes are being put in. Just to note, we're also in our final planning, or not so much the planning, the preparation of the official paperwork in Mexico to drill on the silver projects, the Los Campos and San Celso silver projects in Mexico as well. That's all sort of all linked together due to ministry slowdowns in Mexico. Just people being able to function at either the normal rates or lower than normal
Sure.
rates at the moment. And at the same time, in the background, we're looking at other projects, in other jurisdictions that hopefully would suit the alien strategy, that will complement the existing portfolio and add interesting and prospective value-adding projects into the portfolio. So we keep growing what we do, how we do it, and showing that we have the right strategy to develop.
It's always good to see management teams delivering on strategies. And, looking at your website and documents, you do say you have an acquisition strategy. And it's good to see you delivering on that and planning to do more. Can I just come back to the drilling? So drilling across various parts of the portfolio. So the news flow we should be looking out for is drilling starting. Any idea when we might see any drill results?
Well, at the moment, drilling starting, I suppose, is to me is like, well, once you essentially we're looking at diamond core drilling rather than RC or RAB type drilling. So there's always a lead time from actually physically drilling the hole to being able to get your samples into the laboratory and processed. But for example, at Donovan 2, we'd probably use a handheld XRF, which is not a definitive, but it gives early indications of mineralization in core material. Normally, from the time you start a hole to receiving, laboratory certified results, somewhere like Mexico, where there's a good certified laboratory in the Zacatecas region, you'll be looking at possibly 3 to 4 weeks from start of drilling, with no issues. So that would be for Donovan and the silver projects too. So, but if we're getting XRF results, yes, as I say, they're not definitive, they're indicative, but they're still, obviously, from our point of view, would be, especially on the copper, the VMS target would be very, very encouraging, would give encouragement to ourselves and obviously our investors as we're at an earlier stage. As you're drilling, you can take those readings and put some information out.
Well, Bill, thank you for that. You'll have to come back on the show and update us on the drilling when it started, and then later on the drill results. That was Bill Brodie-Good of Alien Metals. Alien is traded and listed on the AIM market in London. The market capitalization is currently around 6.4 million. But as you heard there from Bill, exciting times ahead across copper, gold, silver, and iron ore in Western Australia and Mexico. That's it from Blytheweigh Business News. Thank you for watching.